man, white, heterosexual. How are privileges protected? Often invisibly.
After denial comes praise. We don't often think about it, but it's a good strategy for resisting change. For people who hold privileges as men, as white people, etc. That's what we find in many songs, for example, some older songs sometimes that glorify women. So the idea is that this reduces individuals, a large number of individuals, in this case women, all women, to a single group that is praised as a whole, exactly like some people do with Africans or Africa, that mysterious continent. All the cliches you can hear, really. So it brings all of that together under a single concept, a single idea that is very positive. We highlight it to the point where we end up saying not women, but the woman. There is a prototype, the woman, the African, and then the Arab, the Jew. So here we remember speeches, of course, that sound a bit strange to our ears, but it's actually exactly the same principle. Is also the idea of offering praise to say that women are extraordinary in themselves, ontologically. And so, since I praise women, since I speak well of women, I'm not harming them. So leave me alone with my privileges, and above all, let's not change anything. So it's actually an excellent strategy of protection, of the advantages one can have as a man, as a white person, etc. It's always the same principle. So obviously that's where the problem lies. It's about the question of privileges. It's not about whether people behave well individually as black people, as women, etc. That's a silly question, obviously, because among women, there are some wonderful women, and then there are some who are not to be associated with. Among black and racialized people, there are some who are great, and then there are some bastards. So this question doesn't make sense. But it's exactly like when we say, the poor, the people who are poor, they are like this or like that. The poor are united. Absurd, obviously. There are people who show solidarity among the poor. Some are not. If poverty made people better, we would know it. So the question doesn't make sense, but it allows us to avoid the real question, which is that of hierarchies. And when you belong to social classes considered hierarchically superior, in a position of supremacy, you don't want to talk about it. You'd rather say nice things. Say nice things about people whom, in fact, we consider are inferiors, because that's how it is. Personally, I don't hear women saying they want to be praised, that they want to be complimented, that their merit should be extolled simply because they are women. Even often in the professional world, they fear it. They want their merit to be recognized, but their individual merit, not because they are members of the group of women, because that's a trap that turns against them, since people will then say, yes, but it's this or that woman. They were promoted in the company because there was a desire to promote women. So it's because they belong to the group of women that they are promoted, and not for their merit. This strategy of praise allows us, who belong to the dominant group, to feel good about ourselves. Because it's like the misogynist who says, but I'm not a misogynist. I can't be a misogynist. I'm surrounded by women. Or the person who says, I can't be anti-Semitic. My dentist is Jewish. Well, it's laughable because it's so silly, but that's exactly what it is. In fact, that's the principle. And so it allows you to behave however you want while feeling very comfortable in your position. So in conclusion, I think that as a white man, as a white person, as a straight person, etc., we should refrain from praising social groups like that as a whole, because generally it's not a good sign. And I think we should especially reflect on our own position and our own privileges and how we use them.